What if a forged ID could save your life? One gay artist defied the Nazis and saved thousands of lives in the process. Hi there, I'm Chris with a K, and welcome back to This Week in Queer History, where we celebrate moments and icons that I wish I had known about as a young gay kid growing up in conservative America. This week, we're celebrating the incredible life of Willem Arondeus. He saved thousands, if not tens of thousands of lives during the rise and reign of the Nazis. We're going to explore how his skills and bravery can inspire us to resist hate and injustice today.
This week in queer history, stories told with love and glee.
Imagine the Netherlands, May 1940. Nazi forces had swept through Amsterdam, bringing with them a storm of oppression. But among this darkness, there was a beacon of light named Willem Arondeus. He was an openly gay Dutch artist whose courage would soon resonate far beyond his homeland. Born in Naarden on August 22nd, 1894, Willem grew up in Amsterdam in a creative family. Very creative. His parents designed theater costumes. I mean, how fun is that? From an early age, he displayed not only artistic talent, but an unwavering authenticity that went against the grain, which at the time, this was the early 1900s, was rare. At 17, Willem openly acknowledged his sexuality to his family. This was 1911. Society was far less accepting. And even though his family was creative and in the arts, they cast him out. Willem couldn't hide, and so he chose his integrity over comfort. This is something that is all too familiar for many queer people who come from conservative places. You have to accept rejection to be free and live an authentic life. But this would not stop Willem. He pursued his artistic dreams, blending Art Nouveau and Art Deco styles, notably inspired by the Dutch designer Richard Roland Holst. His breakthrough came in 1923 with a striking mural for Rotterdam City Hall. Willem's career flourished. He created tapestries which still hang in the Villa Velgelegen, and he illustrated works for famous poets like J.H. Leopold and Pieter Boutens. Even during these successful times, Willem experienced housing discrimination simply for being openly gay. Landlords often refused to rent apartments to him, forcing Willem and his partner Jan Thyssen to move repeatedly. He documented these frustrations in his journals, dark reminders of widespread discrimination faced by LGBTQ people at the time. And still, despite all of these obstacles, Willem persisted with grace and determination. Speaking of grace, in 1933, taking it back, Willem's life brightened with love when he met Jan Thyssen. He was the son of a greengrocer, and their public, visible, and loving relationship endured societal pressures. I truly believe that queer love itself is a form of resistance. It can be a radical act of courage to show up and show love for someone that you're with. As World War II erupted and the Nazis invaded the Netherlands, Willem quickly recognized the severe threat, especially to queer and Jewish communities. Homosexuality became criminalized under Nazi law, and we've all seen the pink triangles that were slapped on the queer victims of concentration camps. Willem's journey from struggling artist to resistance leader began with his underground periodical, Brandartsbrief, boldly urging fellow artists to boycott Nazi-imposed cultural institutions. This all sounds so familiar. What is it? Oh, Kennedy Center much? This publication eventually merged with another resistance paper, defied Kunstenaar, which deepened his involvement in the movement. But here is where Willem's talents shine brightest. He used his artistic skills to create forged documents. He joined up with lesbian resistance fighter Frida Belafonte, and together they produced between 70 and 80,000 fake identity papers. Each one was a lifeline to someone who could have been targeted by the Nazis. These papers allowed people, especially Jewish citizens and political dissidents, to evade capture, deportation, and near certain death. By providing new identities, Willem and his comrades gave these persecuted people a chance to blend into society. They could secure employment, housing, and even food rations under assumed names. Willem's meticulous artistry became an indispensable component of survival, proving that creativity can be a powerful, life-saving form of activism. In 1943, Willem spearheaded an extremely dangerous and bold plan, bombing the Amsterdam Public Records Office. This building was crucial crucial to the Nazis' ability to track citizens. On March 27th, disguised as a German officer, Willem and his team infiltrated and destroyed around 800,000 identity records. That was about 15% of the total. This action likely saved tens of thousands of lives because the Nazis relied heavily on these identity records to systematically identify, arrest, and deport Dutch Jews and other targeted people. By destroying these records, Willem and his team effectively erased evidence, which dramatically slowed down the Nazis' genocidal plans. This gave hundreds of thousands of people a chance to escape detection. I mean, just thinking about this, it amazes me. I can't imagine the bravery that it would take to do this. Sadly, Willem was betrayed and arrested days later, but even under torture, he protected his comrades, refusing to compromise his principles. There are those strong values and ethics that he had. And at his trial, Willem accepted full responsibility. He was defiant and full of dignity. Before his execution on July 1st, 1943, Willem spoke these unforgettable words: "Let it be known that homosexuals are not cowards. No fear, no regret, a clear conscience for the acts to save lives." His declaration still echoes today, reminding us all that visibility and authenticity, though risky, are profound acts of courage and resistance. Now, would you believe that Willem's sexuality was suppressed in the records of time? Yep. We know that story all too well. That post-war homophobia rings strong here too. But in 1990, historians started to uncover and report the full truth of his bravery. He was honored by Yad Vashem as righteous among the nations and awarded the Resistance Memorial Cross, making sure that his legacy endures the test of time. Willem's life was an amazing example of how each of us can channel our unique talents into activism. His bravery inspires me to stand up openly against injustice, no matter the cost. Willem's courage really rings true for me. Growing up gay in Utah, I experienced that quiet, persistent pressure to hide who I was. But Willem's story teaches me, and hopefully you, that true courage isn't about never feeling afraid. It's about feeling fear and acting anyway. Like many queer people today, Willem refused to hide his true self, turning his identity into a source of strength. Reflecting on his life, it makes me think, and I know I've said this before, but what skills can I bring to today's battles for justice? And for me, right now, I'm trying to unbury queer stories and find practical strategies of resistance from the past, and also bring hope and inspiration in some really dark times. Willem's artistic talents literally saved lives, and that shows us that resistance isn't just limited to marching in the streets. It can be quiet, it can be powerful, as long as it's authentic. Willem's final statement that homosexuals are not cowards, it stays with me. Each time a queer athlete bravely steps out onto the field, or each time that an ally speaks up for trans youth, each time someone says no to a small moment of unkindness in their daily lives, they're carrying forward Willem's message. Visibility will always be a courageous act, and it will always dismantle oppression, little by little. Willem's story reminds me that authenticity itself is resistance. In a world that still sometimes seeks to diminish queer people, Willem's life calls us to live boldly, create fiercely, and love defiantly. His legacy inspires us to all stand firmly in who we are, transforming our personal truths into collective strength. Thank you for joining me on this journey through queer history. Please drop any of your thoughts about Willem Arondeus down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And you can always watch some more queer history by clicking on this video popping up right over here. And if you want to know what queer icon or event happened on your birthday, check out myqueerbirthday.com. Link is down in the description below. Until next time, stay strong, stay bold, and keep making history.